Hello, happiest days to you folks. I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day today. Today we're taking a look at a short story. It's called The Mirror of Ninocris. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Ninocris is probably the best way to do it. It's from The Color to Black. It's from 1971. It's 12 pages by Brian Lumley. It was published here. I'll have it for you here in this collection for you folks. And so you can check it out too. Link in the description. So Brian Lumley is a big name for horror authors. He wrote some short stories in the Cthulhu Mythos. When he was in his early era, he was a big fan of it growing up. Then he also would then tend to move to the sort of and more novels in the 80s with the Necros, which is outside the Mythos, right? And that sort of thing too. So he's got tons of fans. So this collects all this Cthulhu Mythos. It's called Haggopian and Other Stories for you folks. And so basically, this has a lot of his different things that he wrote about and that sort of thing too. And I've only read maybe 2 or 3 of his short stories in the various Cthulhu Mythos collections that I read after I discovered it. Lovecraft, who created it in the pulp era, and then also his stuff, and then also in the mid-90s, right? And that sort of thing too. I thought it'd be fun for me to knock this out for you folks. It's only like $7, $8 online because it's novel size rather than oversized. So you can definitely pick it up and knock it out too without spending a whole lot of money. It's pretty thick too. For you folks, for my October that I typically dedicate to the Mythos for you too, and that sort of thing too. Now, like I mentioned before, I came across H.P. Lovecraft and read all of his 3 volumes. One of his Cthulhu Mythos, one of his Dreamlands, which are more fantasy, and then one of his early stuff too. And then I read a bunch of stuff too. And then August Derleth took it over after he died in 1937 for you folks. And this is written back when August Derleth had sort of one of his apprentices, and kind of taken over the editing and publishing something called Arkham House, right? And so this is actually published for Arkham House. So Brian Lumley submitted a bunch of short stories to Derleth over time, and then he actually would be collected into this. Many times published for the first time, like this one too. That we have seen, The Color to Black from 71. So basically in this 12-page very short story, which I read last night for the first time, the basic concept here is actually very simple. It's the first and only short story that Lumley is going to write that is with the Titus Crow, which is his sort of a British older antiquarian who fights crime as an occultist, right? Fights crime, fights against as sort of an antiquarian occultist, right? A collector of stuff, right? And this is actually set with him, but he is sidekick, the younger but still old Henri Laurent Dumont for your folks. And Henri is a character who has a big giant collection of other weird stuff too. He's at a sale for some folks here locally. And then and this is a place where he has bought some stuff in the past. It's like a revolver from Lord, like a recently deceased Lord that has silver bullets in it that were blast and stuff like that too. And now he's here buying. They say that they have the mirror that's in this title for you folks, and it is a famous mirror from all sorts of dark places. So it's mentioned in the Necronomicon. It's mentioned in a couple of other places too. It was back during the era of Neferenka, one of the nasty, the worst pharaohs to ever rule. He actually and it was the folklore of the Cthulhu Mythos too. And so you can check out that stuff too, and some other good stuff for you folks too, right? So I like it. I think it's well done. But then also some of this. So basically, this is basically having him pick it up too from that information, and now he's going to do some research on it. He also picks up a book that was published by this collector as part of his estate sale. Now he's going to go ahead and sell it all, and then let you know what he actually will think about it. And obviously, because it's in the title and it's a Cthulhu Mythos story, it's going to go into a dark place very quick. I think it's fun and a nice little change of pace. If that's what you're looking for, again, 12 pages. So it's not that long, it's not that short. It won't take that much of your time for you to invest in it. And that sort of other thing too. But the strict endings that you would typically expect from a Cthulhu Mythos story are here. if you're not paying attention. But if you are paying attention as a reader, you will see it. Right? It's not the typical sort of set of things you might normally expect from a Lovecraft, or even his earlier things like a Guide de Maupassant, or Edgar Allan Poe too, right? Right, and that sort of a thing too, right? You can see it coming, right, and that sort of thing too, and that sort of drops it a little bit. But I think it's fine. I'm not losing any sleep over the fact that I read it last night pretty quickly. I enjoyed it, and thought this was a fun little diversion for you folks. But it's probably more like a 7.5. It's that right. It doesn't have this huge like themes and threats and that sort of thing too. But if you want a nice little diversion with this thing that was created for the Cthulhu Mythos, you can check it out right here for you folks for 7.5. Now, so let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with my 7.5, let me know what your thoughts are too. As a reminder, I'm not a trained, a critic. I don't read and review critics. I haven't studied literature, English, right, that stuff too in college either, right? So I'm just coming to you as a fan, right? And so I'm definitely more happy. So that's why I'm interested in checking it out. Now, I know you're going to want to talk about spoilers because like more than 50 years ago when it was published. I hear. But let's try to keep it spoiler free because a lot of folks may not have heard about or read it like I have, right? And that sort of a thing. So let's give them an opportunity to hear about it, check it out for you folks. And there you are. Now, now I also do 3 of these reviews, like I mentioned earlier, for sometimes Cthulhu Mythos stuff, some other stuff too, and horror, science fiction, and fantasy too, for you folks, and these older things that you might hear too. Also do on Wednesday older video reviews of video games and that sort of a thing too. I've done Guild Wars 1 on its 20th anniversary, the original Don't Starve, right? That sort of a thing too. Then I've also done things like on Saturday I do something I call Serial Saturday, which is dedicated to telling stories and reviews of the forgotten storytelling genres from the pulp era, back when, and that sort of thing too, back when Lovecraft and many of his things, like Robert E. Howard, who also wrote this stuff too, were alive, so you can check that out too. And then also on Monday, do older reviews of tabletop RPGs or games like Dungeons & Dragons or Battletech. All up in a box for you folks. And so those 7 older reviews a week, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, well, great. Welcome to the channel. Have a seat and do all the YouTube stuff too while you're here, please. And then after that, as you can tell from those 7 older reviews I do a week, it's the passion, right, of this channel for you folks. It's also where its name even comes from. That's a quote by Jacques Joubert, who says that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old stuff. Right now, the new stuff is bad, but it's not. But in this passion, all right, for the new novel, the new video game, the new diversion, right? We have sometimes forgotten that these things, they are standing on the shoulders of giants like H.P. Lovecraft, like Arthur Smith, like Robert E. Howard, like even August Derleth, and Brian Lumley, right? So check them out. I think it'd be very, very stuff great. Alrighty for you folks. And then I want to thank you so very, very much for just taking some time out of your day and investing it, right? And watching my videos, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives. And we're pulled in so many different directions too, right? So like you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling. And I really do appreciate that so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.